I think stories are told because people want to pass on parts of themselves. I think it's a way to share who you are with other people.
It's a form of narrative which tells us about another time. So it's to share our histories, our personal and our collective histories.
In our society, preservation of tales is really important, and in societies all over the world, and storytelling was always in the oral tradition, and only recently in history has it begun to be written down. So I think we tell it to preserve ideas and to share bits of culture.
Without stories, we really do not have culture. And even history itself is storytelling, even though we try to find the facts and make them relevant. Everything about us has to be told.
There's a whole level of subjectivity that we bring to text, to books, and I think in many ways, it's far more expansive.
The most impactful stories are probably ones that are personal to the person who's telling them, and that get at some sort of truth for them. So your story might not be my truth, but if I can see that it really comes from a sincere place and is true for you, it gives it sort of a more meaning, I think, for everybody who reads it.
I think movies tell really great stories because not only can you hear the story, you can see a visual representation of it, and I think it really sticks with people and reminds them of why a certain thing is so important.
Ones that have images attached to them. So you're watching the story of the boys in Sudan, who are forced to be soldiers. Hearing that story takes on much more power when there's visual images. When I have to do a service presentation, the first place I look is YouTube to see if there's a video out there that someone has done that will help me make the point that I'm trying to make. And without those resources, it would be difficult, I think, for me to convey something, particularly something international.
It's made it more accessible, more available. We know that now people can produce films on a limited budget, that we can certainly communicate our thoughts very quickly and all over the world.
I think that as an American culture, it's a blend of a lot of different cultures together, and so to tell stories from different places around the world help us enhance our own sort of cultural mix.
I definitely think that when somebody hears an idea or hears a voice coming from somewhere else, they can take that in themselves and then, pull out inside of them what it is that they can do to make a change.
Seeing movies like that about people's stories can give you, even though it's fictional sometimes, a face to think about when you hear those sorts of news stories. And I think that can, once you have a face that you're thinking about, people feel more compelled to change.
The film and media send you away with a message, whether you're happy or sad or angry or motivated after having the experience, you're going to remember it.
I think when you're watching a film, the combination of senses that are involved, the sense of hearing, the sense of seeing, they really bring about a feeling in you.
It's the emotion. It can strike, I think, certain scenes or films can strike a chord within us, as can reading a book that never leaves you. It's moving.
Well, I do believe that film is obviously a visual medium, but so much about film is about the visceral response, the gut response, how you feel after you've left a film.
The last movie I saw that really made me feel was Slumdog Millionaire. Though I've forgotten some of the lines that the characters say and some little story plot points, I will never forget the way that movie made me feel and the feeling I had after I walked away from the theater. That'll always be with me.